Hey everyone, in this video I will show you how to make 6 different post-process effects. So they are made in a similar way and they are kind of short. So that's why I'm going to be making 6 of them in this one video. So the first effect is this underwater effect. So here you can see when I get close to something, it will become more visible. And when I move far away from it, you can see it will get bluer and bluer. And you can also see some distortions happening. And you can also see some white bubbles flying around. So you can control a lot of stuff with this. With this you can control the color to whatever you like. And you can also control the distance that the color fades from. And you can control the dot intensity. So if I change this to 1, the dots will be more visible. I can also change the distortion power or lower it. I also have this alpha control. I can change this so I can adjust how much of the effect we want. So this is the first effect. So the second effect is this night vision one. So if I press the E key, you can see this characters highlighted in night vision like this. And you can control a lot of parameters with this. So here I can change the brightness like this. I can also change the distance. So if I reduce the distance, it won't be visible from far away. And if I increase the distance, it will be visible. So if I reduce it, I have to get closer. And now I can reduce the brightness also. And then I can change the line number to like 70 or 40. Or I can even change this to 100. So we get something like this. And we can change the line speed and the color, etc. So this is the second effect. So the third effect is this drunk effect. So if I press the E key, I get this distortions like this. This is similar to the water distortion, but there is more going on here. So here you can see double images or triple images like being drunk. So you can change some parameters with this also. So here I can change the speed. I can change the offset amount. I can change it to something like this. So these are all the controls you have for the drunk effect. So the fourth effect is the CRT TV effect. This is also using the elements from the night vision effect. So here you can see this chromatic aberrations happening like this, and also there are these grains and this line like CRT, and also the color. So with this you can change the color to whatever you like. You can change the alpha to fade this in and out. You can also change the number of lines. And then you can change the speed of the lines. Now the fifth effect is a saturation effect. So if I press E, you can see that the world gets saturated. And you can do a lot more with this. So I will show you now. So this is the first one. So you can saturate and desaturate the world like this. Now here I can desaturate the world like this. So the saturation can be used for like some healing spell where you drink a health potion and you can saturate the world for a bit and then desaturate it. And here the desaturation effect you can apply when the character gets low on health. Also you can specify which actors this effect affects. So now here if I press the E key, you can see that this bush is desaturated, also this player. And here we can reverse the effect. So if I press the E key, so here you can see that this bush is more saturated than all the other bushes like that. you can also use this effect to isolate characters. So now here, if I press the E key, you can see that everything except this bush, my hand, and this character has turned to red. We can change the color also. So now if I press E, so now you can see that everything else changed to black. So now the sixth and final effect I want to show you is the thermal vision. So if I press the E key, you can see this thermal vision like this. You can see the hot areas on his body and the cooler areas, and also you can see the background. And here you can see that there is some highlights around the corners like this, which I really like. And here you can see that my hand is also glowing, and if I press E again, it will go back to normal. So now for this effect, we can control the background color to whatever you like. You can also control the edges color like that. I haven't really exposed these colors, but you can also change this color if you want. And then you can play around with the bias, the boost values, and also the power if you want. So if I want, I can add this also to the thermal vision. So if I go here and render this in custom depth, you can see now it is in thermal vision also. So these are all the tutorials we are going to be creating today. And if you want to download the entire post-process pack, all these ones, you can support me on my Patreon and download all of them for $5. And you can also download almost all my previous tutorials from there. And if you are already my patron, thank you very much for supporting me. It means a lot to me, and you make this channel possible. Thank you. So first we are going to create the saturate and desaturate effect. So for that, right click, then material and M, and I will call this saturate. Then open it up. Then here we can change the material domain to post-process, and here in the search type in blend and change this to before tone mapping. If we don't do this, because of anti-aliasing, we will get some jittery screen, and we don't really want that. And now here, right click and type in scene texture and get scene texture and change this to post-process input 0. And here we can get a node called desaturation. And if I just connect this and click apply and create a material and add that into the post-process volume here, into the post-process material, I get this desaturated world. And now press and hold S and click, and we can call this saturation and connect this here and click apply. So this is a normal saturation level. And if you open this up, if we change this to -1, it will be more saturated. And if we change this to 1, it will be desaturated. So we can control this using a timeline. So right click and create a material parameter collection, and we can call this PC data post process and open it up. And here we can add a scalar parameter, and we can call this alpha. And now we can go here and get a lerp and connect this to A and connect this to the MC color. We can do one more thing. We can just connect this to the saturation here and connect this here and connect this to the MC color, and we can 1 minus this and now get our collection parameter and connect this to the alpha here. So now if I change the value to like 1, now you can see that it is desaturated, and at 0 it should be normal because this will be 0. And if we change this value to like -1, at 1 it will be desaturated. So we made a mistake here. We need to change this value to like 1, and here for the lerp we can change this value to like -1. Now click apply, and now here if I change this value to like 1, it will be desaturated, and if it is 0, it will be saturated like this. We can control this value using the blueprint. So for that, we can go to our first person character And now here right click and type in E keyboard event, and now get a flip flop and get a timeline, and we can call this animate. So here what this flip flop does is that when we press E, it will output A, so connect that to play, and when we press E again, it will output B, so connect that to reverse. So with this we can press E again and again, so we can do play then reverse then play again then reverse, etc. So now open the timeline and change the length to 1 and add a float track, and we can name this alpha. Then here change this value to like 0 and shift click here and change this time to 1 and also the value to 1, and we can do an auto curve. And now here we can go to update and type in set scalar parameter value and connect this to the alpha and change this asset to the PC data we created and change the parameter to alpha. Now if I press play and if I press E, you can see that we can saturate and desaturate the value, and depending on what we give here, like if we give 1 here and if we give 0 here and click apply, again desaturate and saturate. And now if we give -1 in the instance and press play, you can saturate more or have the normal level. So now to isolate the objects, we can use custom depth to isolate the objects. So for that, go into your material, then here just duplicate this node, and here get custom depth and duplicate that again, and now get scene depth, and now we can subtract the scene depth from the custom depth like this, and now mask this because we only need the scalar value, so just tick R. So now seal this, so the values are integer, they will be 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Now get a saturate node, so the values are clamped between 0 and 1, and now if I connect this to the MSC color and click apply, you can see that our mesh is black, and if I select another mesh and here if I type in custom depth and add that to the custom depth, it will also be black. So we can use this to mask out which thing to saturate and desaturate. So here if I just disconnect this and just connect this directly and get a lerp and connect this here and connect this here and connect this to the MC color and now connect this to the alpha. So here we are getting an error because this desaturation node converted this 4 vector into a 3 vector, and now this input is 4 vector and this is 3 vector. That's why we are getting the error. So in order to prevent that, we can just get a mask and get a component mask and also tick the B channel and connect that here. So now you can see that everything is saturated. Now if I select this bush and add this to the custom depth, you can see that it is desaturated. So it is masked out from all of this. So now here if I press V and click, I can get this color node. Now if I click apply, so here you can see that the things in custom depth are black. I can change that to any color I want. So if you want the opposite of this effect, we can just 1 minus this and connect this to the alpha and click apply. So now we have the opposite of that effect. Now we can change the color to whatever you want. So that's it for the saturation. So you can rewatch this and connect whatever nodes you need for your project. So I'm just going to comment all of this and call this saturate and put it here. So the next one is a heat haze effect. So after that we will make the drunk effect with that. So in order to do that, we can just get this and duplicate that or copy that and paste it here. And now for the heat haze, we need to distort the UV. So for that, just connect this to the MC color. Now we need to get a normal map. So go to the starter content and get the water normal and bring it here. And now get a UV coordinate by pressing and holding U and clicking, and get a panel and connect this here and connect this to the UV of the normal. And here we are just going to add the coordinate with the normal map and connect that to the post-process input 0. So before doing that, we can also mask this. So it will only take an R and G value because this is only 2 channel. You can see red and green. We can also control the distortion by getting a scalar parameter and calling it distortion power. And now connect this to the B and connect this to add and change the distortion power to like 0.1. And now for the panel, we can give a value of 0.1 also. So now we have this heat distortion effect. This can be also used underwater. So we will call this heat haze. Now for the drunk effect, we need to duplicate this and duplicate that again. Then we need to add all of them. So we will just move them in different direction in the UV and then add all of them together. And then we need to divide them by 3 because we are adding all of them together. If we don't divide them by 3, they will get brighter. So just divide them. Then connect this to the MC color. So we cannot see anything right now. Now we have to get a time node. Then we need to get a multiply node. And now we can call this speed. And connect it here. And now we can get a sine node. So this sine node is cyclical. So it will move from -1 to 1. No matter how high the value we input, it will only be -1 or 1 or anything in between. And if we add 1 to that and divide that by 2 or multiply by 0.5, we can shift the -1 to 0 and 1 to 2 and multiply that by 0.5. We'll get a value ranging from 0 to 1. Now we can get a lerp and change the speed to like 0.01 or 0.1. Now we can get a scalar parameter and we can call this offset and change this to like 0.01 and connect this here and click apply. Before that, we need to add this value with this UV coordinate. So, and now if I change the value to something bit bigger like 0.01 and click apply, you can see that it is shifting like that. So now we can connect this back. Now we can just multiply. Now we can just multiply this by -1 and connect this to A. So it will move back and forth like this. So now there is too much movement. So if I open the instance, I can change the offset amount to like 0.01. So there isn't that much movement, maybe 0.04 like that. So there is some movement and I can change the speed to like 0.04 or 0.02. Now for the second one, we can drag here and type in break. We can break the components and here we can make it back, make float 2, and we are not going to change the red channel for this one. And for the green channel, we can get an add and connect this here and connect this to the Y here. So here we can get another multiply by pressing and holding M and clicking and connect this here and connect this here and change this value to like 0.02 and click apply. So now we get this drunk effect. Now maybe change this value to like 0.02 and also click apply. maybe here we can just interchange this like this and click apply. And then we can open the saturate and change the offset value like 0.1 like this. And here we can change this value like 0.02. So now here we can see double images like this. So this is the drunk effect. So if you want to enable and disable the drunk effect, you can just go here, get this lerp with the alpha and copy that and paste that here and connect this to the B and connect this here. And for the A here, we can just duplicate this and connect this to the A and click apply. And now if I press play and if I press E, so now we have this drunk effect, and if I press E again, the drunk effect is gone. So that's it for the drunk effect. I will just disconnect this and I will select all of this and call this drunk effect and move it somewhere here. So I forgot to do one thing for the drunk effect. So reconnect this to the MC color and here go to the content browser and here go to the view options and tick engine content and developer content and go to engine content and here go to filter and take this texture and then find this gizmo texture, this one, and bring that in. And now get a multiply and 1 minus this and connect this to the B here and click apply. And now if I press E, you can see the edges are darkened now. So that's it for the drunk effect. Now we will make the underwater effect. So for that, first we will get two textures. So go here and get this water normal from the engine contents. Then get this sky stars texture. We need both of them. And here we also need the heat haze. So just copy that and paste it here. And we also need this one. But this time we will just copy this, paste it, and add this one with this one. And connect this to the MC color and click apply. Now you can see that the sides are really bright. So here we can get a multiply and change this value to like 0.2 or something like that and click apply. So now our edges are kind of bright. And now we can get a node called scene depth. And now saturate this and connect this to the MC color and click apply. So you cannot really see anything right now, but if we go here and we get a divide and press and hold S and click and get the scalar value and name this distance, and now connect this to the divide and connect this to the saturate, and here for the distance we can give value like 1000 and click apply. So here you can see that the closer something to the camera, the darker it is, and the far away it is more bright. So we can use this to create the blue color effect for the water. So here for that we can bring the add here and connect this to the MC color, and now bring it here and get a lerp and connect this to A and connect this to the add here, and then get a blend overlay from here, or you can just right click and type in blend overlay like this. Now connect this here and connect this here, and for the color press and hold V and click, and we can go to this color and change this to some blue color like this and connect this here. And now for the alpha we can connect this and click apply. And now here open the instance and change this color to like some blue color that you like. So now if I get close to something, you can see that it is more visible, and far away it is this blue color. And if I bring in the instance, I can change the distance like this, and also I can change the color. Now we can add the bubbles. So for that, bring it here and bring these two textures here and duplicate this texture. We need to duplicate this 3 times, so we get this 3 texture. Now we need to get 3 panels and change this value to like 0, 1, and change this value to like 0.02, and change this value to like 0.01, and connect this to the UV and connect this to the UV here. And now we need to max all of them together like this. Then we need to get a multiply and call this dot power and change this value to like 0.2 and connect this here. So because of this different values in the speed, it will give a fake depth effect. Now get another add and connect this here and connect this to the add here and connect this to the B here and click apply. So here you can see that our dots are too big, so we need to make them smaller. So now go here and get a UV coordinate, then get a panel and change this value to like 0.1 and connect this here and connect this here, and then mask this. We did this earlier to get some distortion, so we will do that again. And now multiply this and change this value to like 0.01. We need a really small distortion. And now get an add node and connect this here and connect this here and get a multiply node and change this value to like 3. So this will tile the dots and that will make them smaller. So now connect this to the coordinates and click apply. So now we have these dots, but the distortion power is too much. So I will change this to like 0.05 and click apply. And we need to change the dot power to like 0.07. We need to increase this speed to like 0.05 and now click apply. So now we have our dots and also underwater like effect. So now I will just select all of them and I will comment it underwater effect and move it here. Now we will create our night vision effect. So for that we need to bring all of these from the drunk effect. So copy that and paste it here and connect this to the MC color. And then we also need the custom depth mask. So copy and paste. Then we also need the scene depth mask. So bring that in. So now we can just duplicate this again and we can get hard light. Press and hold V and click and type in green and connect this here and change this value to like some green color that you like for the night vision. And now connect this to the multiply here and click apply. And now if I press play and press E, you can see the green color. And for now I am just going to connect this directly to the MC color. So now we have something like that. So here we need to make the green color a bit darker. Now click apply. So now we have something like this. So now we need to isolate these characters. So for that we can use a custom depth mask and bring this in. And we can get a lerp and connect this here and connect this to the alpha and connect this here. And here we can get a scalar parameter and we can call this brightness and change this value to like 3 or something like that, and then get a multiply and multiply this with this and connect this to the alpha here. So here we need to change this brightness value to like 100 or something like that. So we are getting the opposite of the effect. Remove this 1 minus and connect this to the alpha and click apply. So now we can see that this thing is getting highlighted and everything else is kind of dark. So here we can go to the brightness and change this value to like 10. I think that's a bit too dim, so we can change this value to like 30 or something like that. So now it's brighter. Maybe we need it to be a bit more brighter, like 50 or something like that. So now it's more bright and you can easily see them. So now we can scale this brightness value with distance. So we can connect this to the alpha here and we can multiply this by, now we can multiply this by 0.5 and connect this to the A and connect this to B here and click apply. So now when I go back, so now maybe I will change this value to like 0 and let's see what that does. So here when I get closer, you can see it is going dimmer. We need the opposite of this effect. So we can go here and we can connect this to B and here the brightness to A. Now click apply. So when we are far away, it will be dark. When we are closer, it will be brighter, but we don't really want that. So we will go here and we will change this value to like 0.5 and click apply. So when we are far away, it is a bit more dim, and when we are closer, it is a bit more bright. Now we will create the scan lines for the effect. So for that, just move this here like this, and now type in screen position. So with screen position, we can get this gradient again, and if we break this and connect only the green channel, we can get a gradient that goes from top to bottom like this. And now if we multiply this with a value like 10 and use a frac node on it like this, we will get 10 lines like this. And if we change the amount to like 1000, we will get 1000 lines like this. And now if we multiply these lines with the original color, we will get something like this. And now if I click apply, we get something like this. And now if you want to move the lines, we can go to the material again and we can go here and get this time plus multiply. And now if we add this to the gradient, we are updating the value of the gradient, so that will make the lines move up and down. So now if I connect this and click apply, so now you can see that it is moving a little bit. Now I will go to the multiply and get a scalar parameter and call this line and connect this here and change this value to like 400 and click apply. And here I can come to the instance and change this value to like 200 or something like that, or maybe even like 2 or like 30 or like 70, whatever you like. So now we can go back to our material and we can reconnect this to the emissive and click apply. And now if I press play and press the E key, so now we can see our night vision effect, and if I press E again, it will be gone. So now I will just select all of this and disconnect it, and I will call this night vision and move it here. So now we will create the retro TV effect, but in hindsight I should have made this before the night vision effect. So here it is very similar. We can copy these two and all of this, and now copy this and paste it here. So I really made a mistake. I'm really sorry. I should have made this fast. Then the night vision could have been less complex. But there are a few things we can do. We can connect this to the multiply here and change this color to like some brownish color like this. And now connect this to the MC color and click apply. So now it's too intense. So here what we can do is that we can get a lerp, and then we can connect this here and connect this here and connect this to here, and we can get an alpha, and we can change this value to like 0.5 or something like that. So now it's less intense, and we can change this color to something darker. Maybe I can change it from here. So maybe we can actually connect this here and connect this after the alert and click apply. So we get something like this. Now we can go to the post-process volume, and here we can add few things. We can go to the lens, and we can go to the chromatic aberration, and we can add intensity and start offset, and we can play this value with the chromatic aberration. You can see this rainbow effect that is happening in the sides for the CRT like that. And we can also change the start offset like this. We can also add some image effects like this vignette if you want on top of the one we have, or we can also add the grain and the grain intensity. So now we have this retro TV effect like this. So that's it for this one. This is really simple. So I will just copy all of this and call this retro TV. So now we will create the thermal vision effect. So for that we need this alpha mask and this texture. So copy and paste that and connect this to the MC color. Now duplicate this and only take the R value and change this to ambient occlusion, this one, and now just connect this to the multiply, and here I will just connect this directly without the alpha and click apply. So we get something like this with the ambient occlusion, and now we need to power this. So get a power node, and we can call this power and change this value to like 2, and now get a multiply node and get a scalar. Change the name of the scalar to bias and connect this here, and then saturate this. So clamp it between 0 and 1. Now connect this to the multiply and change the bias to like 1. Now click apply. So now if I go to the instance, we can control the bias like this, and also we can control the power. So we get an effect like this. I will change this value to like 2, and I will change this value to like 1. Maybe change this value to like 0.7 or 0.75. Now duplicate this again, and now we can change this to like world normal, and we can get a Fresnel node and then connect this to the normal, and if I connect this to the MC color, we get something like this. So now we can multiply both of them together to get a very unique look. Now we can component mask this because we only need a scalar value, so just tick the R and then bring it up a bit and get a lerp. And now get a vector parameter and name this BG. This will be the BG color. And now get another one and call this corner. This will be the corner color. This will be the corner color, and connect this here and connect this here and click apply. So now for the BG we can give a blue color, and for the corner we can give like some kind of glowing color like this. So here we don't really need normal for this one, so we can just connect this to the alpha and click apply. So we get something like this. Now we can reduce the power or increase it. So here we can reduce the brightness of the background. Here we need to 1 minus this and connect this to the alpha, then click apply. Then here change the background value to like a blue color like this, and for the corner color to like something like this, these values. Now we can control the power like this, so the corners are glowing a little bit, and we get something like this. Now we need to get our custom depth mask, so we can go to the saturation and we can copy this, and also we can get the lerp and copy that, and now bring it here and paste it here, then connect this to the lerp here and connect this to the lerp here. So this custom depth mask, if I click apply, you can see that has isolated the character measures like this. So here if I add something to the custom depth, it will also be visible like that. So now we can connect something here. Also we don't really need this 1 minus because we need to isolate this character. So we can just delete that and connect this to the alpha and click apply. So we get something like this. Now you can see that our characters are isolated, and here we can get something called a 3 color blend, and now connect this to the alpha here and connect this to A and click apply. Now we get something like this, but if I open this up, you can see that it already has all the colors applied, and if you want to give new colors, you can create a vector parameter and give color here like color 1, and I will give this to the C and change this value to like something like white and change the value to like 5. Now click apply. So we get something like this. We don't really want that. So here we can connect this to the alpha. This value we can change this back to like black or something like that and click apply. We also need to 1 minus this. So now we have a thermal glow, but now we can change this value to like white again and click apply. And now we can play with this power and this bias. So we get an effect like this. So now if I go back to the post-process material and connect this lerp to the emissive and click apply. Now if I press play, and now if I press the E key, you can see that the thermal effect is applied to the characters, but everything else looks normal. So you can change all the colors and all the bias values, etc. if you want. So I think that's it for the tutorial, guys. Thanks for watching.